This is a must-win game. It's an absolute must-win game, ladies and gentlemen. No points can be dropped. I do not care who's playing, who's not playing, who's injured. If we drop points, it's going to be detrimental. It is third versus 15. It is back at Stamford Bridge. It is Chelsea versus Leeds United, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, it's a must-win game.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another match preview. These games come thick and fast, and it's fine. We're enjoying it, we're entertained, but at the same time, Chelsea's in a bit of a topsy-turvy situation, and we need to change that ASAP. That's why this game against Leeds at Stamford Bridge is not going to be easy. No doubt about that. There's quite a lot of injuries as well that we have and they have as well. But 3 points. 3 points is a must. I can't imagine this particular game being a draw. And if it's a loss, I think it's a disaster. But even if we end up getting a draw here, I think we're in serious trouble. But where we want to start off this particular preview is from the press conference. Nizar Kinsella has done a madness in terms of summarizing it. So let's start from here, ladies and gentlemen, straight away. Tuchel on injuries. Chalobah is still out. Kovacic is obviously out in regards to being tested positive. He's not going to be back for at least another week. Kante is out for tomorrow, and Ben Chilwell as well. So we know those Ben Chilwell we knew, obviously Chalobah we knew as well. Kante was a bit of an issue, which we'll get down the track in this particular summary. He should be back Tuesday next week. So that's a good news, as we know the time frame. Thomas Tuchel said there is a time frame. He's expected to be back on Tuesday next week. So let's see what happens if that's still on track. I mean, Kante was meant to be back so much quicker, but he's almost been gone for at least close to a month. Jorginho did the last 2 training sessions, and he will do what he did in the last game and play through pain and do what's needed to be on the pitch. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we need to praise Jorginho. The fan base, not everyone, there is a small portion, they take pleasure in putting this player in the mud every now and then, especially when he makes a mistake. And they don't tend to praise him either when he does well. I mean, the fact that he's come third in the Ballon d'Or, there's a small portion of the Chelsea fan base that they think he doesn't deserve it. This is crazy. Your own fans don't think you deserve it. Look at this. Playing through pain. That's exactly how I want to remember Jorginho. Honestly, once Jorginho finishes up at Chelsea, I want to remember him that playing through pain is what Jorginho does. You know, he's there. He's an absolute Chelsea man. Honestly, I never understood what it meant. You know, proper Chelsea. Exactly what that meant. I think Jorginho for me is proper Chelsea. Seriously. Do you remember first season under Sarri, the head bandage? When he had that injury, he put the head bandage. He became a different player after that. He was unstoppable. And there's been quite a few times where he's been playing through pain. We literally have no midfield. And the fact that he's doing this, even when he's injured, I can understand why he's having those lapses of concentration every now and then. But hopefully he can forget that, and hopefully he doesn't have that anymore. Kudos to Jorginho being able to play, and looks like he's going to start as well. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, there's no recollection of him in this particular conversation, so hopefully he's back too, or else Thomas Tuchel would have talked about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We then go on to talk about, it sounds like Ruben Loftus-Cheek will play after not being named amongst the injury concerns. This is exactly what we were just talking about, but Nizar Kinsella has put that in his summary. Tuchel on Chelsea's form. For me, it's more about the last 3 games, Watford, West Ham and Zenit. The way we played was the first time that we were not ready to play and match the intensity. We escaped at Watford. So look, this is what I touched on in recent times, that we've not been playing well, especially the midfield has not been available. And against Watford, we got away with it. We were non-existent. There was no midfield. Watford was all over us. West Ham was a strange one, and Thomas Tuchel actually said that it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't a bad performance to lose 3-2. It was just a freak show. Zenit, 100%. We were open again. The 2 games proper we were open, but Thomas Tuchel, I guess what he was trying to say is that in the last 2 games, we've given away the lead 4 times. So we've led 4 times and we've given away the lead 4 times. And that's a bit of a concern. That's not Chelsea football. Chelsea Football Club does not associate themselves in giving away lead. So that's something we need to rectify ASAP. And Thomas Tuchel understands that. And hopefully we snap out of it. Nizar Kinsella's summary goes on to say, the performances are not bad or horrible, but they're average, and average looks horrible when you play for Chelsea. It is good when it's like this because we are trying to compete at the highest level. 100%. Maybe those sort of performances would have been gotten away any other lower sort of clubs, but at Chelsea Football Club, no way. You play average in Chelsea Football Club, it's going to look horrible, and this is right. And I'm glad Thomas Tuchel realizes this, and I hope players understand the frustration Thomas Tuchel's seeing, and they carry out, the correct instructions in game, and they play with confidence. When you lead, play with confidence and put the teams away. If you do by any chance go behind, have the confidence to come back. So it's very important, and we need to stop leaking goals. We've been leaking too many goals in recent times. One of the biggest characteristics for us, especially under Thomas Tuchel, has been how difficult we've been to beat, and the amount of clean sheets we've kept, and we need to come back to that. Chelsea are hoping for Kante can train again on Tuesday next week. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Kante expected to come back next week, Tuesday, which is going to be very important. Reece will start the match versus Leeds as wingback. There you go, another giveaway. So Jorginho, Reece James will be starting, and I expected them to start anyway. Reece will start the match versus Leeds as wingback. So none of these Reece James in the middle. It's probably most likely going to be Jorginho and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Cannot imagine Saul playing in midfield. And in fact, I cannot imagine Saul featuring one bit, whether it be in the left wing-back position, whether it be in midfield. I think we've understood his level. It's just a bit too much, the Premier League at the moment. And we simply don't have the time for him to adapt, and half of the season's already finished. And he's on a loan anyway. So Reece will start the match as wingback. If something happens to Georgie tomorrow, though, we need a solution. We used to the match in Zenit to try Saul in new position and Reece in the middle of the pitch. So look, God forbid, if something happens to Jorginho, Reece James will probably tuck in the midfield area. I don't want it to happen. I want Reece James to be in the wingback. I think he can exploit a lot of issues for Leeds from that particular position. He could even get into scoring goals and assisting from that position. So I want him to play in the wing-back position. Some Leeds news, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the team selection. Injury update from Leeds: Bamford, Cooper, and Phillips. Big names there. Bamford, Cooper, and Phillips all suffering from hamstring injuries, so they're not going to be featuring. Kosh has been ill, but will resume training this weekend, so he's probably not going to be featuring either. Rodrigo has a heel problem, so definitely Rodrigo is not featuring. So they've got some injury issues as well. This is how the table looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea third, 33 points, 1 point behind Liverpool, 2 points behind Man City. We need to win. There is no doubts about that. And Leeds, ladies and gentlemen, are 15th, as you can see, 16 points. The last 3, draw, win, draw. And look, it's not been the greatest season for them. They've not been their proper best as they were last season. So this is a team we need to be able to put away. I respect Leeds a lot. I respect Bielsa, the way they play. I actually watch quite a lot of Leeds. This season, they've just been diabolical in defense, and last season as well. But they've had a lot of injuries, so I can't lie. But one thing Thomas Tuchel said when asked, what do you expect from Leeds? Lots of running, man marking, and a very unique style of playing. So we better be aware. Last season, I remember under Thomas Tuchel, it was a draw, but we got away with that. There were a lot of times where Leeds were in the moment to score. Hadn't it been for Mendy, I think we would have been dead. So we can't disrespect this team, but at the same time, we need to put them away. We've got the players to do that. They've got injury issues. We're at home. It's a must 3-pointer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the lineups. This is the setup that I'm thinking. Obviously, 3 at the back, 2 in midfield. The wing backs are generally midfield. That's why I've stretched them out. The inside forwards and the striker. Let's go from the back. Mendy needs to come back, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Kepa is given one more game here. Kepa wasn't bad, but I expect Mendy to come back in this particular match in the Premier League. Mendy could possibly play in the Carabao Cup that's around the corner. So, sorry, Kepa could possibly play in the Carabao Cup that's around the corner. I believe that's against Brentford, I think, in the Carabao Cup. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's one of those teams. He'll probably play that cup game, but Mendy needs to be back. In defense, Rudiger, the bad boy, I need Silva to come back. And Christensen is probably going to be the RCB. In the midfield, Jorginho has already been said that he's going to play through pain. So he's starting. He's going to play. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, most likely. I mean, he's not injured. I know he got injured just before the Zenit game in the warm-up, but that could also be the fact that he needed some rest. I expect Ruben Loftus-Cheek to come back alongside with Jorginho in midfield. Look, we've seen the experiment of Saul. I know you're going to say, look, that was just a one-off game. You know, the midfield was not the right midfield. Give him a proper midfield for Saul to see one more time. Look, no time to experiment. Let's go with Alonso. There's no Chilwell. Alonso at least knows that particular side. Let's just hope Alonso can play some ball. I wish Saul worked out, but I think for Saul, it's just a bit too much. He needs to go. Reece James, for me, right wing back, and he's going to exploit a lot of issues on that right side. Hopefully, here comes the situation. Look, I want Kai Havertz to play. I really do. A lot of people are going to say probably Lukaku after scoring, and maybe he might, but maybe this game just comes a bit too early, knowing that he's had that injury. A rest, a bit of time from the bench would be probably ideal. I can't expect him to start against Zenit and start against Leeds after such a short turnaround. So Havertz for me, Lukaku off the bench. Mason Mount didn't play, so Mason definitely comes back. Probably have Mount on this side. And Ziyech didn't start either against Zenit. He came off the bench. I'm going to have Zenit. Interesting. Ziyech on this side. So for me, this will be the front three. Havertz, Ziyech, Mount. Both didn't start against Zenit. Both got valuable times off. I know Ziyech came off the bench. I'm not quite sure if Mount came off the bench. I think Mount started. Let me just have a quick look against that match. Zenit versus Chelsea. Mount did start probably. So look at this lineup. Yeah, Mason Mount actually started that. And I think, he played 90 minutes. So that could be, he played 90 minutes against Watford, against West Ham, now against Zenit. Perhaps he could be given a break, but I don't want to. This is a match where I want to see Mason. I really do. I need that intensity. I need that man that's going to be able to run around. So for me, Mount, look, a soft sort of situation here, maybe. A lot of people are going to say Timo, but, and it could be a game for Timo as well. So, Leeds plays with a high line. Leeds play with a crazy sort of situation in the back. So it could be a chance where Werner gets an opportunity. So for me, I'll put a marker down for Werner. But this is the lineup. Obviously, we're going to have players like Pulisic, Callum Hudson-Odoi coming off the bench, and hopefully they can make an impact, ladies and gentlemen. That's my lineup. Mendy, Rudiger, Silva, Christensen, Jorginho, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Alonso, Reece James, Mount of Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, Lukaku to come off the bench as well. I'm expecting this team to do well against Leeds. Hopefully we get maybe a 2-0, 3-0. We want to keep a clean sheet. I miss keeping a clean sheet, and I want Mendy to be able to keep a clean sheet, and our defense as well, just coming back and making it difficult. And once again, going back to the ethos of Thomas Tuchel, hard to beat. Expecting 2 or 3-0 victory. Let's get the 3 points against Leeds. Let me know what your thoughts are with the press conference, with the lineup that I had, score prediction. How do you feel? What's going to happen if we drop points, in this particular match? Let me know everything about this particular match and how you feel about it moving into it. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe as well if you're here for the first time. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time. See ya.